Hello, and thank you for joining me today on Live with a Purpose. Fairness. What is fairness? The Bible talks about being fair, about being impartial, about judging rightly and justly. Fairness has to do with being reasonable with one side as you are with the other. Not being heavy-handed. God doesn't like that. God talks about putting things on the scale and have people check that you aren't being cheated, because there are cheaters out there that tend to overload the scale to one side. Our passage today in Exodus 23, the first 3 verses says, "Do not spread false reports. Do not help a guilty person by being a malicious witness. Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you give testimony in a lawsuit, do not pervert justice by siding with the crowd, and do not show favoritism to a poor person in a lawsuit." That sounded good until the last part. Why is that all in there? God is telling his people to be fair. Just because everybody wants to squeeze, let's say, the rich person, or the company, or government, or law enforcement, and maybe they're right, but you have no personal information. Maybe it's something to do with something in your family or something in church, and you know this person is this way or that way, but you have no personal knowledge. But let's say you do, and you give your part, but then you go further to try to seal the deal. God doesn't like that. That's not being fair, because that could easily happen to you and to me. And indeed, God sends his son when we didn't deserve it. It ends by saying that just because people sort of want to stick it to the wealthy, don't side with the poor person just so you can get over. Maybe you got a deal on the side and maybe you get so much. Be fair with those that have and be fair with those that don't. Why is that important? Because it's showing us who God is. God is not partial. God has no favorites. God loves us all the same. Now, just because people may not like that other people are moving ahead or how people got there, God will deal with that. Let God deal with that. In the meantime, be at peace by being fair. Don't try to go over and do justice yourself, because that could easily have happened to you. The Lord did not have to come and give his life for any one of us. We didn't deserve it. That wasn't even fair. We didn't deserve any of it. And yet, he showed mercy and grace. So, what we deserve is justice, but he showed us mercy. Think about this. Thank you for joining me today on Live with a Purpose.